I want each family here who is watching this to be able to find the approach or approaches that fit their family best.
I am really excited for this episode because here's my story. About almost 12 years ago, I guess it was, I went to my first homeschool convention, and I remember going to a workshop, and I told you, I said, it might have been you. I don't remember. I literally have no clue who taught this workshop,
I
but
don't
it was,
think I was doing one 12 years ago on this.
okay, so it
Yeah.
probably wasn't you. I don't remember who it was, but I went to this workshop and it was all about teaching styles. And this very sweet lady goes up and she starts talking about traditional and classical and Charlotte Mason and unit studies and eclectic and unschooling and Montessori and all these things. And I was like, what is she even talking about? And she did an excellent job. But I remember walking out of there because, again, my oldest was 4 at the time. I had said I'd never homeschool, so I was brand new. I mean, we had just decided that we were going to consider this for her first year, at 4 years old. I knew nothing. I was not educated as a teacher. I knew nothing I didn't know what a manipulative was. I knew nothing about teaching or homeschooling. And so all of these words flying around, I was like, well, I'm so excited about this homeschool thing now and all of these teaching styles, but I don't know what she just said. And I was so confused and overwhelmed, but excited at the same time because I knew that what she was talking about was exciting and fun, and that I would figure it out as I went along, which of course I have. And so I'm really glad to have you on because right now there are so many parents bringing their kids home and they're looking at homeschooling for next year and they're trying to figure out, what does this look like and how do I teach my kids? So I would love for you to jump into this idea of there's 5 main teaching styles. And so we're going to talk about those 5. And then over the next few weeks, we're going to break apart each one of those teaching styles with a different guest. You're going to come back with us and talk about Charlotte Mason, but we're going to break these all apart and we're going to dig really deep. So today's going to just be an overview of these 5 teaching styles, and then just hang on because we're going to talk more about this. So I'm going to let you kind of introduce what they are and how they all work together.
Well, the best thing about having 5 styles is that you have options. You are not locked in. So many times when we think about teaching our kids, all we think about is the way we were taught, because that's our only frame of reference. That's all we've got in our heads. So hopefully this episode will enlarge that view and help you see that there are other ways you could approach this. It doesn't have to look exactly the way you were taught or exactly the way your children have been taught to this point if they've already been in a classroom or something. You have other choices that you can make if it would fit your family best. And that's the key, Yvette. I want each family here who is watching this to be able to find the approach or approaches that fit their family best, because that's what makes the difference between homeschooling being a drudgery versus being a joy and an adventure.
Yeah.
So when I think about the options, I like to compare it to food styles, cuisines. It just makes it easier for me to wrap my head around it somehow. So as you said, we're going to just paint this in broad strokes. So
Sure.
let's warm up here by thinking about food in broad strokes, all right?
Okay.
So if we were going to describe Italian food to someone who had never heard of Italian food, what words would you use to describe it, Yvette?
Oh, probably tomatoes, garlic, spices, oregano, pasta, of course.
Yeah, yeah. So that's just broad strokes. I mean, I have a friend who went to New York for a week to focus only on Southern Italian cuisine. So,
Oh, wow.
there's varieties
Sure.
within Italian, but we're just talking broad strokes here, all
Yeah.
right? So now let's do broad strokes for Chinese. What words would you
Sure.
use to describe that?
Rice, noodles, shrimp, beef. I think of those because those are what I love.
Yeah, soy sauce.
Soy sauce, right?
We think
Not
of
so
that, yeah.
spicy typically, but for me, but I know some people
Mhm.
like spicy Chinese.
It
Like
can
some
be.
people like spicy homeschool, right?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So it's the same thing. We're going to just paint these broad strokes for the 5 main flavors, and then that would kind of help people to get a feel for, oh, yeah, that one sounds interesting, or not so interested in that one. Just kind of help them narrow it down so that in subsequent episodes where we're diving deeper into each of the five, they can get more details and explore more to find out if that's going to be a good fit for their family.